Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Hippo Film Club. I'm your host, Hippo, and today we're going to be talking about the aesthetics of villainy and heroism in X-Men Apocalypse and the way that the movie fails to make a cohesive visual statement. Before we dive into the outfits of Apocalypse and his horsemen, we need to talk about the most evil thing in the movie. More villainous than the horrible Apocalypse himself. More sinister even than Mr. Sinister. A TV spot. A fan of Ana de Armas sued, I don't even remember the movie, I'll put it on the screen, a movie studio because they cut her from the film, and he won the case, which set precedent. Now I find that funny because someone could do that with like John Malkovich from the Fantastic Four very recently. So movie studios are still pushing their luck with it, so maybe keep that in mind.
Everything they've built will fall!
They chopped his line up so he'd say it like 0.5 seconds faster, which I find funny. They show the last shot of the movie, the only shot that has the costumes, 5 seconds into the trailer.
I'm fucking pissed. Okay.
But alright, looking at this really horrible green screen shot, we can now begin to look at the costumes of the horsemen. We obviously have to look at the horse himself, Apocalypse. In Sabanur, Yahweh, as some call him apparently.
I've been called many things over many lifetimes. Yahweh, Ra, Krishna.
He's coming.
Got that one from the Bible.
Okay, so first, let's talk about the Apocalypse suit, because wow, there is a lot to talk about with this suit.
Leggings, there was wild boots.
Fabrics he wore were created and made specially for him.
It had 13 moving pieces too.
This suit was so clunky and heavy and uncomfortable to wear that a custom cooling tent had to be made for Oscar Isaac, who played Apocalypse. The suit was genuinely so clunky in an unnatural way that he would have like died from heat exhaustion if they didn't take like insane precautions. And for what? It looks like fucking garbage. He looks like a 74-year-old bus driver from Boca Raton who like used to run an Italian restaurant in Miami until the 2008 economic recession. It's rat fuck ugly, and it really has no reason to be. There were versions of Apocalypse designed for this movie that eclipse this.
Yahweh. The Bible got it from him.
If we look at how Apocalypse is traditionally depicted in the comics, or even in the X-Men animated cartoon, I know he has a very large gravitas there. If you compare their voices from the cartoon to this, I think most people would prefer the cartoon, me included.
You had your chance to be the first of my creatures.
Dang, I missed it.
Weak and foolish mutant. Destroy them all!
Destroy us all! Destroy us all!
Destroy them all!
The Bible got it from him.
Though I will say, I appreciate Oscar Isaac's voice. I think it brings something to Apocalypse.
But I am here now.
But we see that this suit is just so strange, and I don't understand it. He's supposed to be this ancient god. His suit is like this gray-black, doesn't like connect with his head like a helmet would. It like wraps around his neck. It's supposed to look like this very big, regal royal collar. And then what is this like on his neck? It looks like a boombox, or like, I don't even know, like a circuit board. And then you have like this vent, which, you know, that didn't help. So this is gross hands around Magneto and Cyclops. These are like 3 separate PNGs, and then a like CGI gorilla hand. Yeah, looks like a fucking egg. Apocalypse isn't supposed to look fragile. That's all I really have to say for Apocalypse.
Real mature.
This is where we get into some of the more fun designs that we see. The biggest disappointment for me, and we'll start with, is Archangel, really. Angel himself has always been a pretty boring character for me. I didn't really get anything out of him, but I found Archangel to be very interesting, and it took that character in a direction that I liked. Archangel is super fun visually, and I think that is a lot of the appeal that old comic books have, is those ways to take funky color combinations and make them work, like green and purple, just finding these weird palettes that work. And Archangel really fit into that, even when he did evolve into his more modern aesthetic with like gray and black and like a light grayish blue. He still is holding this aesthetic where he's like entirely morphed. Sometimes he's depicted wearing a skull mask, or even just like having a Ghost Rider head. Could you imagine? God, like that'd be gnarly. His wings are like these metallic blades, and I can appreciate that. That's like a very 2013 edgy thing. You know, in 2013, I was a 12-year-old boy, so that should tell you everything you need to know about my X-Men tastes. In the film, they lean even more into the metallic version of them, making them almost like machetes, a fully machine kind of segmented, almost overly complicated. It's in 2 segments. When Archangel has had metal wings in the comics, it's generally because his wings were entirely chopped off. Not only because it looks cool, though maybe they chopped his wings off so they could give him metal wings because that would look cool. In the film, the way this is presented to us, we watch him transform from like bone and flesh into metal. That communicates to me that he is becoming unnatural. He's becoming machine. He's losing his humanity. But that's not really what's going on here, is it? Apocalypse might be like a psychotic villain, but he's enhancing his natural mutant abilities. He's not doing anything unnatural. It just seems odd to me that visually would want it to seem like Apocalypse was ridding him of all humanity. But then they can't even commit to that because this is what his fucking face looks like. I'm sorry, what is this? This is embarrassing levels of I don't give a shit. His suit is just this bland gray and white, and he dies. Oh, also, I guess I should comment on his angel look. Sorry, do you really need me to do that? Look at him. Yeah, he looks fine. Archangel, very disappointing design. He's played by Ben Hardy, and for Ben Hardy in the role, I'd say nothing. There's not much. He's not given much. I think there was potential there, like the cage fighting thing, and even a few moments as Archangel, like sure, but then he dies in the movie, and it's like okay, the most nothing depiction of a character in a while in one of these movies, which you could also say for his appearance in The Last Stand. So
I like him. He's funky.
next, we will talk about one of the better ones. We'll talk about Psylocke. Now, I actually quite like Psylocke's outfit in this movie for the most part. There are updated, more modernized, less perhaps showing off of her body versions of this outfit. There are versions that kind of take her more black instead of like a dark blue that shades into purple. There are ways that you could design her newly. Ironically, really like Marvel Rivals' base skin for her. Ultimately, I'd say Psylocke has a pretty iconic look. They added some armor, they added some aesthetic. There's a little bit of over design like on her breastplates, but other than that, I'd say they nailed it. If you look at the way Psylocke has been traditionally drawn, classic outfit, they kind of nailed it in live action, like without just making it like a straight up unitard, like form-fitting type of sexuality. Psylocke's not like a hard character to design for. Marvel Rivals, obviously, like it's a pretty simple suit, like it's just a sexy purple like unitard, leotard, whatever. I think the outfit is supposed to look hot, and it is. Olivia Munn looks really good in it, and I really like the color choices they went with. You can see in this shared poster, you have Archangel in the back here, looking even worse than he usually does with this black, but then you have Psylocke right next to him. She's glowing, she's slaying, she's giving cunt, she's serving boss. I actually like the way the armor wraps around her waist, and I like the red sash. I think they did a really, really good job with the suit. I don't know if it's like okay for me to say this, but I really like the boob window. The cleavage compartment, if you will. Small story. I watched X-Men Apocalypse on a plane once, and they blurred her cleavage in this shot on the plane, which, I don't know, I just thought was kind of funny, like, okay. She has some cool scenes in this. Like, I really like the introduction when she's with Taliban and Apocalypse, like, increasing her power. That is cool. It shows us very quickly that Psylocke is someone who respects power. And I think that, like, Olivia Munn, she does give, like, sort of a memorable performance. I really like this moment where she's, like, ripping into the wall trying to catch herself. Like, that's cool. She's not just phoning it in, so I appreciate that, Olivia Munn. Also, we don't really know if this is Betsy or canon. I'm not even sure that the filmmakers know, and I don't think that Olivia Munn would disagree with my statement.
When I was doing X-Men, I was actually surprised that the director and the writer didn't even know that Psylocke had a twin brother. And I had to talk to them about a lot of different things about Psylocke and some other parts of the world that they didn't know, and that, as a fan, it's very frustrating.
Next, we'll go back to another disappointment, and we're going to talk about Storm. I will say positives, because this is not as bad as Archangel. I'm quite partial to the Mohawk.
Sorry.
Look at this behind the scenes photo in all of its glory. Now, unlike Cyclops, Jean, and Nightcrawler, she does not have to wait until the end of the movie to get a suit because she's a horseman, which also kind of makes the Dark Phoenix tagline funny. The X-Men will face their greatest threat, one of their own. Speaking of this shot, I'd really love to quickly talk about this green screen comparison posted by Mike Seymour on fxguide.com June 2nd, 2016, a week after the film came out, so shout out Mike. It's quite interesting to see. Like, if you're interested in the process of filmmaking, you can learn a lot just by seeking out these images and analyzing them. Like, taking a look at this one, you can see that the green screen is taking care of the high-rise part of buildings, but they do have some cars and one-story buildings and cracked walls down on the set. This is a great way to do it because this is still allowing your actors to interact with the environment, which is always going to be helpful. Anyways, looking at Storm's outfit, we have this really weird line texture work with white and like a very dark gray. I don't like it at all. I'm not particularly sure like what they were going for besides matching her kind of to the like basic color scheme of the Horseman, considering the fact that they let Magneto be like a dark cherry red, Psylocke to be electric purple, and then Archangel could have been like purple and blue, but Storm though, you could have given her like a very regal outfit, especially because Apocalypse calls her
My goddess.
For him being like
My goddess. And like coming as he inserts power into her via Bluetooth. No, the Bible got it from him.
that he would give her like one of these outfits. I don't even think I have to put words to how ridiculous this is when you, like, do you need me to elaborate on why this is stupid and bad and doesn't even thematically make sense for Apocalypse's character? There should be like lightning coursing through her mohawk. Am I, like, is that a cook? I also really like love this shot. I will say in action, the suit works sometimes. I mean, if you look at it closely, it still is like, what is going on here? Now we will talk about her final suit at the end of the movie because she actually has 2 suits in this movie. So good for Storm. And I actually quite like this one. I think this is one of the better ones out of this batch. Spoiler, the Cyclops one is not that good, but we'll get to that. I'm kind of a fan of this suit. I love the cape, like the cape that comes off of her wrist. Like that's kind of a Storm signature, but I don't know. It's like very thin, like something's off about it. This is a good time to segue into Magneto anyways, because one problem I always had with Magneto's design in the movies, the original movies rather, was his helmet. It was terrible. Only way I can describe it is bulbous, which isn't the word I would want to use to describe a Magneto helmet. They basically completely fixed this problem in the First Class timeline, and Fassbender's Magneto is a very nice helmet that gets an updated look that's pretty nice each movie. Apocalypse specifically is going for something very interesting, trying to tie Magneto's design in with Apocalypse, and you can tell this is the one they put the most work into. He has this helmet with this kind of circular upwards indent, kind of shaped like a keyhole that forms in the bottom into this upwards formation of a shape that sort of resembles his horns on his original helmet. So off the bat, I really like that. And then you have that turning into these like winged tips that have the same kind of line texturing work that you see on Storm's outfit and some of the other outfits. I don't know if I like it on the helmet. I think it's just a little too noisy. Magneto's helmet is not a very like complex design like it's just supposed to be. Texturally, it makes sense that the color scheme is red and black. Look at this ridiculousness. Shoulder plates, shoulder separator segments that go into his, like right below his nipple and then form out into these red wing plates that change into a breastplate that goes down. And in the middle, he has like, I don't even know, like chainmail or like double sets of zippers. It looks, no offense, really fucking stupid. It's so clunky and bulky for no reason. It's over design 101. And I think that in the effort to make Magneto the most consistent in design with Apocalypse, they ended up making him look stupid. I like the bottom texturing on the edges of the jacket where it's like flaming up, like that's fine. And then the pants are fine. The boots are good. The gloves are a little weird. They almost look like reused Dark Knight gauntlet props or like Wolverine. Like why are Wolverine claws about to stick out in this picture? Also, why is Ian McKellen's face CGI'd onto Michael Fassbender in this shot? I'm not crazy. Also, the cape is good. I've always been a fan of Magneto's look. Magneto's one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. He has such an iconic look, and I like all of them. Like, I'm not just partial to the red and purple. The red and purple is my favorite. Anyways, that's all the Horsemen.
Goodbye, old friend.
I love your body.
I love my body too. Every Tuesday night. And I think of you.
For a bit, I guess let's talk about Cyclops. People always hype up this suit, but like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it's only because you're comparing it to this black flight suit. Watch this. Don't you see how stupid this is? Why is the visor silver? Sorry, that's actually stupid. Why does he have black running? Okay, actually, I don't hate the black running through his suspenders. I don't hate that at all, actually. The X looks okay, but like it's a little too low, but whatever. The padding on his stomach is weird. It's another example of this like chainmail that we saw on Magneto and some on Apocalypse too. I don't like it. It looks weird. Like comparing it to 97, like it's just very busy and for no reason. Like Cyclops' outfit in 97 is already busy. It pops. They do like something really impressive, and I don't think I could even pull this off. They made the suit more busy and over designed, but like less eye-catching. Is genuinely impressive. I don't know. They were close to something cool. Like I think they're the bones of a great Cyclops suitor here. But there's just like major things that are like fucked, like straight up just like fucked, that make it a bad looking suit. Let's remove one from the Cyclops horny counter.
You like movies?
Some.
You like
Why?
X-Men?
I love X-Men.
Now Jean is interesting. Like contextually, I like her compared to this version of Cyclops here. They're taking this 90s suit and they're just really dulling it down and over designing it. You have this really flashy blue and yellow, which already matches with her hubby in X-Men 97. I love the lines on this, the way they make the edges pop. I love her with long hair and with the ponytail. I'm quite partial to the ponytail look. I feel like it makes her look like controlled and restrained. Like she doesn't want to have to worry about her hair going all fucking crazy like it might when she's very psionic, you know? So I've always liked the ponytail look, but I don't mind the long hair look. Like that can lead to some really fun. And Jean is a character with so many fun designs, and that's the issue. Like looking at this suit, it's like this very muted blue and yellow on like black and gray. And Phoenix is a character that she's been color coded with green and yellow in multiple creative ways. She's been color-coded with blue and yellow in multiple creative ways to match with Cyclops. Even red, and there are red Cyclops designs that you could match. Like, if you didn't want to commit to this blue Cyclops design, okay, like, use this one, or this one. Cyclops has a lot of cool designs. I'm a big fan of Cyclops' looks. Like, I don't even know if this is my favorite. It might be, like, it's up there, definitely. But Cyclops has some pretty iconic looks. Like this red one is awesome. We'll do like a little rapid fire on the ones I didn't talk about, but I don't have as much to say about them. Quicksilvers, I don't really like it. Nightcrawlers, I do like it. Beasts, I'm oddly indifferent, and I've never disliked Holt's Beast face. Ultimately, my opinion here is that they kind of did okay on some suits, even great on one or two of them, but most of these still kind of suck. And it just really seems like in the process of making this film, it definitely seems like there was a lot of going back and forth on what the characters were going to look like. We know this to be true because the production was very publicly riddled with issues. Bryan Singer not showing up to set constantly, verbally abusing people, where Simon Kinberg basically stepped in and finished the movie. You know, Simon Kinberg did not only direct, ultimately, I think the largest failure of the X-Men universe early on is putting the trust in the wrong creatives. If you had had a 2000 X-Men movie, like as beloved as this movie is, frankly, if you had a 2000 X-Men movie directed by any other director, like the public perception, like X-Men Apocalypse wouldn't exist. It would be a completely different cast, probably with a different villain. It would come out at a different year. You know, we don't know Butterfly Effect. Jake Schreier's X-Men movie, the director of Thunderbolts, is tapped to direct the next X-Men movie. If you don't know what tapped means in that sense, Marvel is saying to him, we would like you to direct the X-Men movie. Can you create us a pitch? And if Disney likes it, which I imagine they will considering his level of talent, it will get greenlit. It seems like they have a lot of faith in him. Thunderbolts was a movie that was kind of doomed to fail, and he turned it into something really interesting. I think that Jake Schreier, as much as he is like another white man directing the X-Men, I'm hoping that he gets crazy with it. I'd love to see Gentle. I'd love to see Jubilee, Dazzler, Sunspot. So many characters that have not gotten the spotlight. But I'd also love to see Jean, Cyclops, Storm, characters that just honestly never got respected. I know people have fondness for these actors, but these are pretty lame adaptations of almost every one of these characters. But that's gonna wrap it up for today. I do have an X-Men Dark Phoenix video coming out within the next few days as well. So if you enjoyed me talking about X-Men Apocalypse, please do go subscribe, watch some of my old videos. I have a Kraven the Hunter review, some other comic book stuff that'll be on screen, and other non-comic book stuff you might like. I have a video about the Page Master. I want to give a shout out to my Hippo Film Club benefactors, which is my tier 2 memberships, Kat McKee and McSnickerbottom. Thank you so much for being club benefactors, Kat McKee and McSnickerbottom. If you are a benefactor, you will get a shout out at the end or beginning of every video. And if you are a contributor, you will get access to these super cute emotes, a badge next to your name in the comments to use in the comments. And you'll get this cool stamp next to your name in the comments that'll go up with how long you're a contributor to the club. Also, feel free to comment any movies you'd like me to cover. I am always looking for new video ideas, and sometimes I hit dry spells. So when people suggest me movies, it's actually very helpful to me. So if you're itching for a comedic review to a movie that you just think someone needs to talk about, give me the sauce. Let me in on the secret info. I'd love to do it. I'll even shout you out if you put me on right. But other than that, I just want to ask that you sub and like the video. Have a great day or night. Hippo out.